Hi, I'm Blair Gilbert, here for Mr. Hardware and Gilbert's Pro Hardware in St. Clair Shores. We are here to talk about underground downspout failure.
See that this pipe is full of water.
Here's a situation where this unit, this condo complex, had a downspout was dumping on the ground and the water would puddle in this concrete. You see all this concrete is all sagged, big deep cracks, and so it's settled down here. It settled because all the water that flooded in this corner went down to the drain tile, went to the sump pump, and each year so many pounds of soil went with all that water, and it undermined this concrete. Hence the concrete has fallen. In a mediocre attempt at repairing this, the association has hired some mediocre landscapers. They've taken the downspout, they buried a 4-inch PVC out into the lawn, but what they neglected to do was they direct connected the downspout. In a situation where there's trees in this area, all the crumb that comes off the roof goes down this pipe, travels underground to where these folks put in a pop-up. But what has happened is this homeowner is attempting to free all the, this is all the crumb that comes off the roof, maple leaves, and I already pried this loose once. This is a pop-up. It looks like a great idea. It's not so great. This is a pretty poor and a semi-expensive evacuation system for the water because it's all done by gravity. This has to be lower than that pipe for the water to come out. That's natural, it's easy. But what we like to do is we like to put a T here. The T then can be in the ground at any particular height so that when the water drains from the house to the T, the pipe is always in a downhill angle. At the bottom of the T, we put a post hole full of pea stone. That allows this system to continually drain itself, even if it takes a couple days, so it won't hold water for very long. So when this flows water out on the ground in a strainer, then the system will drain. And again, in the winter time, January, when there's a freeze-thaw sequence, this won't freeze and break the pipe. The other nice thing with the T is the strainer lifts off a little easier. These lock in. The strainer just lifts right off. You can put your hand in because some stuff still makes it to the strainer. But this system is going to go bad very quickly. Once this pipe, if no one maintains this pipe fills up with all these leaves and this crumb, it's going to rot. It's going to impact the pipe. Water is going to overflow at the house. More water in the ground, more cement sagging. So this is really a poor design. It's too bad. It looks good on the shelf at the store, but in reality, our goal is to get water away from the house, filter. We're taking a look at what happened to this pop-up in this elbow, and we're going to show you how nice we can change this into a T. We're going to take a look in here. We're going to see that this pipe is full of water. Did it move? Looked like it moved. Did move. He didn't move it. So here, see how much water's in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to dig a post hole down here. So that underneath this fitting, by taking out this elbow, we're going to put a French drain below this. So we're going to take what was a good system and we're making it into a great system. Put it right, couldn't put it any closer to that sprinkler line, huh? We have about a 2-foot deep hole at the end of this underground downspout. What we're going to do, in lieu of that pop-up, this pop-up 90, they put a little slot in the bottom to drain it. It's not enough. It's so easily clogged with a couple of leaves and a little bit of dirt. You saw this was holding water. So what we do is we put in a T upside down. When we put the T in upside down, we're going to take and bring a piece of PVC up to the top of the earth. We're going to put a green strainer in it so it blends in with the grass. And we're going to fill this with pea stone. What that's going to do for us, that pea stone is going to act like a French drain. So as water builds up in here, now we've created a conductor so that the water can go down in the pea stone and it can wick into the earth, and this will auto drain. So this won't hold water. In the wintertime when we have a freeze-thaw sequence where it's warm into January and snow melts off the roof and comes down here, we want it to be able to dissipate in the ground and not keep our system from freezing. Make sure you cut up the part where I'm struggling here. Okay. We're going to shift this thing over to the side a little bit. Okay, we finessed in the T. We have our 2-foot deep post hole down below. Now, here's what's going to make our pipe auto drain in the winter time. And a lot of times I'll pour it in right through the center of the T. So here we have it. Of course, we had to dodge a sprinkler line if you notice this going on by. We put in our pea stone. We got it right up to the bottom of the T. So now any excess water that doesn't come out the strainer out on the lawn will eventually go into that pea stone. When it rains and all the rainwater comes in here, it's going to saturate this pea stone typically in just a couple of minutes during a rainstorm. Then the water's going to come out the top of this T because this location is lower than where the water is being inlet down at the end. And so what will happen is the water will come out on the lawn here for a long time. And one, it's easy to clean. I can put my hand in here, I can reach down, and if I get leaves or accumulation of crud, it's easy to clean. Instead of this being holding water, this will eventually drain into this ground. This stone will help accumulate all of our excess water and drain it into the earth so our system will go dry within hours typically after every rainfall. This will make this system last a lot longer and be much more maintenance free than using an elbow like this that never drains. This strainer needs to fit inside a piece of pipe, then inside the T. Or take some of your topsoil and fill it in there and take a garden hose and it soak in. Here's our downspout inlet into the system. Direct connected, typical. What we want to do is we're going to cut the PVC, we're going to put a strainer in here, so now when leaves come off the roof, they're going to splash away and only water is going to go out to our system, keep our system much more maintenance free. As I've said before, I've got a few of these that are 15 years old and I just have to keep cleaning the crumb out of them about every 4 or 5 years. If I don't have this, I better clean the crumb out every year. So it's just a better way to have a little filter. This is SDS35 pipe, which is a little thicker ID than the thin wall stuff that I normally use. I made it a rasp. There we go. Good. Okay. So now the second thing we want to achieve is we do not want this pipe right up against this grade or the leaves will accumulate and get trapped. So I like to cut an angle on the downspout so as it lays up against the debris filter, the leaves have enough room to evacuate and drain away. So now we're going to shorten up the downspout. Now as leaves and crumb, along with all the water, come down the downspout, the leaves have plenty of room to evacuate. The water, 95% of the water will go down our drain and go out in the lawn. No more water at the basement. This is the way to keep your basement dry. Just make sure when the water comes out on the lawn, your lawn is pitching downhill, that water can't roll back to the house and cause more wet basement. So it's all about water management and having grade so water drains away so when it rains your basement stays dry.